There we go. Live.
You seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to channel.
Oh, that's fun. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
What
Let us go.
is up, YouTube?
Let's do it. Okay, so what is up? Infinity times Infinity Studios. We're live streaming. What's going on today, Dan?
It's Infinity times Infinity Studios Day today. Like it is every day. But in this particular day, it's even more Infinity times Infinity Studios Day.
Yeah, so, you know.
We got some things.
Infinity.
Yeah. We got symbols to make with our arms for you. as we always do on this show.
Right.
So.
Yeah. We're coming at you live, okay?
Coming at ya.
Today, we have an exciting show. We're pulling out the Hagibis.
Yeah, we got a light with a very Midwestern name, or is it a mid what do you call the
Mid-Norwegian?
like the dark times from long ago, you know, the
yeah, you mean
the Middle Ages.
The Middle Ages, yeah. Hagibis.
It could be from the Midwest or it could be from the Middle Ages.
Yes.
Because it's the Hagibis, which I believe is some kind of mythical monster in maybe Norse mythology, like you said.
Yeah.
But it's the Hagibis King 10, which he didn't put in the title, so I'll amend the title later. I'm the title amend master now. And I'll be linking a bunch of other stuff in the description, by the way, including what we're talking about today, which is that Hagibis, as well as a couple of other things that are pretty cool that you can use for your dynamic mics, like your stage mic type of mics, right? Like your Shure SM57, 58s, as well as ribbon mics and the notoriously difficult to drive Shure SM7B, which is basically an SM57 or 58 with some differences. It's more or less the same microphone, but for a lot more money. So it's kind of silly, but it does sound pretty awesome because of the differences in its cavitation and the capsule mount and all that sort of thing. Right.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we got. We got all four cameras here.
Yeah.
So
we're multi-streaming, multicam.
Multi-streaming, multicam.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
We got YouTube's and Twitch here.
We got the
so
2 out
give
of
us
3.
a shout out if you're on there.
Yeah, so you can see my lights in one of those shots there, the bottom left. So that's for a reason. It's because the Hagibis is one of those lights. It's the one up there to the square rather than the circle area. Mm-hmm. You can kind of see 2 squares. One of those is my tablet that I'll monitor the show with, and the other is the Hagibis. So, yeah, it's a panel light, an LED panel light, and it is well priced for being an RGB light and available on Amazon through the affiliate link down in the description below once I amend that description after the stream here.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and we'll, basically this little tiny light was made to basically store real daylight inside of it, right? Like magic.
Yeah, that's right. It has actual daylight coming at it. Like, in Pulp Fiction, whenever the guy opened the chest and the light came out of him and he was like, is this what I think it is? Yeah.
His face is glowing,
Yeah, that's what this thing is giving me right now. So that's why it looks so Travolta-like at this moment.
You could pull off that shot if you had a suitcase and you just went...
Yeah. Yeah, if you put this light inside there and shined it on your face real bright, then you'd be there. Right.
And one of the main things about the light is that it's tiny, right? You can pretty much put it anywhere.
Yeah, I have it in a camera bag that has, whenever this ZV-1 is my traveling camera, I have it in the bag with that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which, by the way, I have it at 3200 ISO this time, and it's wavering between plus 0.7 and plus 1.
Okay.
So it's doing really good, light-wise. It's able to do... I could even turn the ISO down.
Right.
If it's plus, right? Or to have that backwards.
Yeah, no, yeah, you could turn it down if you wanted to.
Right. Yeah, so I was concerned I'd have to be at 6400 ISO with this camera in these conditions because we're fairly dark in here, actually. We look bright on your screen, but that's actually a little brighter than it really is. Maybe in Philly's area, it's about identical to it, but for the most part, we're looking at an image on the screen that's actually brighter than our real life. So that's, if you want cameras that can show like daytime in the dark and see into the future and stuff like that, then you can get these cameras like we have here at IXI.
Okay, I need you to do me a favor and tap the screen for me. Just make sure this is in focus because I'm looking at the monitor. I'm not sure. I don't think it is all the way focused. So unless it's in focus and I'm just seeing like the monitor is not.
It's got a lock-on autofocus on you as a box now.
Okay, good.
But it's not eye tracking, so there's probably a setting that needs to be done in the A7 III.
Can you see this?
Yeah, the box sees you now, but
yeah,
we forgot to touch him before the intro, so apologies for his blurry intro that you probably experienced.
It's not looking that much sharper, but this tiny little monitor that I'm looking at, it just look a little bit soft. So
yeah, it should be crispy now because it's got the square on you squarely.
Okay, good. And what's cool is I can even go out of frame, come back into frame, and then it recognizes me. Sometimes it'll mess up just a little bit as you're going out, and then you come back in and it straightens up. So let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can do that. Wait.
Oh yeah,
that's hard.
It's still trying to box you.
Okay.
Boom, boxed.
Boom, and then
reboxed.
It's like what? He knows my face now.
Yeah, it's Philip is his friend now. The A7 III and Philip have become friends.
Me and A7 III are friends, and he's like, "Oh, I know who you are."
He's the best friend ever.
So anyway, even if you have all of these amazing low light cameras and stuff like that, it's good to have lighting and be able to control the lighting.
Yeah, our lighting is used a little more subtly than you will see in a lot of shows, but we try to make the light that our face is lit by be visible. Mine is actually having some issues now because I'm kind of hiding behind the microphone over here, and the Hagibis isn't getting me, so we may move the Hagibis a little bit. It's all a work in progress still.
Yeah, I mean, the Hagibis can be put just about anywhere, so I mean, we'll still work with that. Yeah. You have a little ring light too.
Yeah,
right?
As you can see down in the bottom left quadrant here, we have this ring light as well as the Hagibis. So the ring's really light in the front of me, and the Hagibis is lighting when I look over here toward the microphone, really, right? And it's then my hair light when I look forward. So
right. Okay, so let's switch over. We're gonna switch gears to audio. Right?
Yeah. Now you have seen and now you will hear.
Right.
So the next portion of our show involves talking about some pieces of gear like I might have mentioned in a more rambling way there at the beginning. These pieces of gear just feed your dynamic mic or ribbon mic with 25 or so decibels of inline gain. So they make it so that you don't have to turn your preamp up so high and get that hiss happening that you don't want.
Right. So everybody that's worked with audio knows that there's only a certain amount you can turn up a mic before you start hearing that hiss. Right? Yeah,
and the cheaper your device is, the more hiss happens at the top of that range. Yeah, usually.
You might just plug your mic right in. It could be as low, and it could be like a wind tunnel.
Yeah, if you have a cheap enough mic, it'll be hiss almost immediately. But even a good mic or a good preamp, it's a combination of the mic and the preamp and the sensitivity involved and so forth, and the self noise created by the microphone. So there are some things involved. It's not a cut and dried one dimensional sort of situation, but what you have usually is a case where if you turn your preamp level, your gain level on your preamp too high, then you start to hear some hiss associated with that preamp's distortion. And that combining with the microphone's self noise in a situation usually creates even more noise. So, you want to avoid noise wherever you can. And, the more you can avoid noise, the better your end result will sound.
Yeah. And if you have an SM7B, which a lot of people do have, this is a way to help fix that hiss sound coming out of that thing. Right?
Yeah. The SM7B, it doesn't hiss. It does have some self-noise probably.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's hissing out there in the world is because your preamp is turned all the way up, because it's gain-hungry microphone. So adding something like this in line for the SM7B, as well as any dynamic mic that's like the SM7B, notably the SM57 and 58 from Shure, and also many other condenser capsule dynamic microphones out there, and omnidirectional for that matter, and the other patterns associated with. Often they're super cardioid actually in terms of their polar pattern, but a dynamic microphone doesn't have the same kind of phantom power that a condenser mic has. So the preamp sends power to a condenser mic for it to be as loud as it is. So what you can do is use that same power and send it to this little inline box before your dynamic mic, and you'll have more or less the same situation as what's happening for that condenser mic capsule, where you have inline preamp gain that's allowing your microphone's level to be loud enough for your gain on your preamp knob to not have to be cranked all the way up.
Right. So let's go ahead and switch over. I'm going to get on the gimbal. Dan is going to start talking about what the box looks like, and what it looks like out of the box and whatnot. And then we'll show you what it looks like on a microphone.
Yeah, we have another mic booster on here as well that we'll also add to the description and the title, which is the NOS Audio Mic Booster. And it's the same thing. It's an inline microphone activator. So there are several of these versions of this thing available from several companies. There's also a Triton Audio FET head and a SE Electronics Dynamite and the Cloud Lifter, which you've probably most been familiar with for these inline microphone activators. So these are all pretty much competition to the Cloud Lifter in terms of the market segment. And I think that the Cathedral Pipes one, from what I've heard, is supposed to be pretty darn good and comparable to those. And then this other one, the NOS Audio Mic Booster, is the other one that we'll be hearing in comparison with that today. On this SM57 with a pop filter, which is more or less like an SM58, but then you have a pop filter, a mesh pop filter, instead of the one that's built into the SM58's dome head. So, that's superior pop filtering. And believe it or not, this is a setup that has been used in professional studios many times to capture vocals, because the SM57 is just a good sounding microphone, as you'll see here through our tests.
Right. Okay, so let's switch over the audio, and I'll grab the...
Yeah, so I'm turning on your lav is what's happening. The lav here, and turning down your 2050 over there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we should be hearing your lav, but I didn't hear you.
So now we're hearing the lav.
Pretty weak.
Hello? Can you hear me? I could yell!
Yeah, I think we're there. Yeah, I can hear you, certainly.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool. All right, let's...
We may be gradually adding more gain to that.
Okay, now let me grab the old gimbal over here.
Oh, we can turn the level up on here too, can't we?
Yeah.
No,
actually, no.
Radio.
Yeah.
There is a level somewhere on one of the two.
Where?
Yeah, I think we had turned it down at some point, maybe because we thought it was too hot at that moment.
There's a plus minus on the battery pack, but
is that volume level?
I don't know if that's volume level. Hello, check. Is that helping?
I don't know.
Hello. I think that these are just for menus, not really for...
Okay, I think I've got you gained up enough.
Okay.
You just were weak on gain.
Okay, sounds good.
literally and figuratively.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah, so what you see on the right side there is the Cathedral Pipes Durham Mark II. And you also see on the left side Philip gimbaling in a very gimbally manner.
Yeah.
That's not quite as steady as you might imagine for a gimbal. But whenever you have shots that are horizontally aligned like this, it's a little more difficult to get a super smooth gimbal shot. You know, you have that wide horizon, you're less able to notice the micro shifting along the edges of the frame there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah, but these shots are all looking good together this week, I think. So we got the colors getting a little bit better. Mm-hmm. You know, we're popping. Our colors are popping.
Yeah, the colors are popping for sure. So, okay. We don't have our LED lasers on right now.
No. We don't have any lasers, but we have lasers internally mounted on our brains. So
okay, that works.
We can laser anytime we need to.
All right.
So are we all moving over there that way, or am I staying here on this mic?
I thought we were going to go over there.
Okay, let's go that way.
Okay. Okay. The follow shot.
Cool. So now my hand is in half of the shots there, and my head's in the other half, apparently. Mm-hmm. But you're the only microphone over here.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right?
So
you're going to be the one responsible for talking about the Durham.
Here, how about this? Can I just, like, get close to you? And then...
Yeah, or you can hand me the lav. You know?
Yeah, true.
You can undo your lav situation.
Okay. Let's do that. Okay.
That's the beauty of having a gimbal shot, you know? You can just set it down and it's a shot again.
And it's steady.
Yeah, so this will probably involve a lot of shuffling and bad sounds coming from this mic, so...
For sure, there's going to be some... yeah.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
I guess that's better than nothing, slightly. I see the in-camera audio happening, but that's not being used, so...
Yeah.
It's really just this lav mic. Anyway, this is the Cathedral Pipes Durham, which is made by a fellow called Charles Dickinson here in good old USA, in California specifically. This fellow makes $2,800 ribbon mics that A-listers use in their multi-million-dollar studios. And this particular inline mic preamp came from one of the ribbon microphones, the preamp that's built into a ribbon mic. So what I was saying before about how a ribbon microphone can use the preamp gain using one of these mic boosters, well, that's the case if one of these isn't already built into your ribbon microphone, because in some ribbon microphones you have essentially one of these built into the microphone. And if that's the case, then it uses phantom power. So microphones are usually a little more straightforward than the situation for ribbon microphones right now, because a ribbon microphone is damaged if you give it phantom power, and it's not supposed to have phantom power sometimes. And some ribbon microphones now are powered by phantom power. So you really have to know out there in ribbon microphone use world whether you're using a ribbon microphone that is able to accept phantom power or not. Because if you put phantom to a Royer R121 without one of these inline mic boosters in front of it, for example, I do believe you'll be ruining your R121 and losing your $1,300.
Okay, cool. All right, so
yeah, hopefully this audio is working properly. I guess we kind of tested it, but it's not super tested. So
yeah,
my head moving around is probably affecting it and things like that.
Sure.
That's what happens with a lav mic. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I checked it before we came over here, but
yeah, it was using your voice, right? So
yeah. Could be totally different.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to know what happened with this.
Right.
But
But sometimes that's what we do here is test things. So of course they can't hear me. Let me see. All right, go ahead and talk.
yeah, well, I'm not what I say you're not going to hear for 4 seconds, so don't be alarmed if you can't hear me immediately.
Okay, yeah, I'm hearing you.
How's the level? Is it crazy or is it too low or too high?
Yeah, it sounds good.
I think it looks good over there on the board. See, I'm looking at the board from over here. I'm still trying to do my sound engineer job, like even though I'm far from my board now. I feel kind of like a little ducky out of water. But I see that we're popping over there levels that sometimes get close to the yellow. So that should mean that we're getting good signal.
Yeah, on the Slink Studio program live, I'm seeing green into yellow.
Awesome. That's great. That's perfect. That's what we want. That was probably a little too loud because I was looking straight down into the lav. What you don't want to do is move your head relative to the lav a whole lot because that's what changes the consistency relative to the amount of volume going into the lav. So you out there in lav using areas, remember not to point your face right down toward the lav and not to point it directly away from the lav. Try to stay right there in the middle, all right? Do it at a medium pace like Adam Sandler would tell you. Right? So if I was a product demonstrator, I would be holding this like this to make this be shiny in the frame. See how that's glinting shinily? It's because it's the Cathedral Pipes Durham MKII naming plate that you have here, which conveniently shows in and out, in case you didn't know.
Oh, it is shiny.
It is, isn't it? It's got that red anodized metallic finish. It's just a cool piece, y'all. This thing, I mean, I respect cloud lifter buyers, okay? I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea and say that somebody's wrong or right, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are alternatives out there to the cloud lifter that you might want to take a look at, and this is a pretty cool one, in my opinion.
Here, let me see it. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, shiny. And It's got the white. It's kinda cool. It's different. And then, you know, you get your XLR.
Yep, and you got a sticker on the side that says Durham MKII on the other side.
Durham, and then they give you a nice, it's like a production style sticker, you know. Like
Yeah, in case you didn't know already what it was by the front of it, it's also there on the side.
Yeah, let's go ahead and free label that for you.
It may be because there was a Mark I and a Mark II, so maybe this is differentiated so that you can know that this is the new hotness.
Right.
Just in case you were worried, because it doesn't say Durham MKII here. It just says Cathedral Pipes Durham. The original ones, I think, were all completely red anodized. Yeah. So one of the things they went is to a red anodized plaque with the white cream paint, which I imagine is what's on their ribbon microphones. It's a really nice, flat-ish white kind of a paint. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a powder coat. It's super high-end looking. Yeah. And yeah, it's a little bit of a strange look given that it's white and red. A lot of studio gear is, you know, black. Everything that's in racks is just black with red on it, you know. So having white is kind of a cool thing. I don't know. If you're an iPhone guy and you like iPhones and white stuff, then maybe this is your mic activator, right?
Yeah. Sometimes changing it up is good. So let's go look at the other one. What was the other one? The one that's over here?
Yeah, it's the NOS Audio Mic Booster. It's the same form factor as this. Let's take a look over here.
Let's take a walk.
Yeah, we've got these other mics down right now. Here, let me turn my mic down. Okay, so yeah, this right here is the NOS Audio. Are we still split screen? No,
I got one.
We're on a single now.
Single, yeah.
So yeah, the NOS Audio Mic Booster here. Looks like it might be focusing on it gradually, or you might want to touch it.
There.
Let's see.
Touch focus.
I think that should show, but
yeah, that's it.
it's a very similar concept. You see,
Yeah.
you have your in and out, and it's a square box that you put in line right after the microphone, and it should be said that you want it to be very close to the microphone, as close as possible, ideally in line. So some of the competitors have just a barrel that connects right to the back of the microphone. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if these would do that too. I haven't actually tried. But rather than doing that, it's not a whole lot of loss associated with putting 1 foot of mic cable in between there. So that's what we got going on there.
So that's why you keep it short, is there's less ability for it to lose power and
Exactly.
signal.
Signal degradation.
Yeah.
You're keeping that signal degradation to a minimum. And, that's why ideally no extra connection is what you would want.
Yeah.
And that's why having it in line is an intriguing prospect and appealing, because then there is no additional connection. You have a series of connectors, and you have essentially 2 fewer connectors if you attach it directly in line. Mm-hmm. Because you have this extra cable. Yeah. But and that's all kind of theory stuff, and in practice it's really not going to matter much. Mm-hmm. In fact, you could probably put it in between 2 20-foot long mic cables, and you could measure it, and there would be absolutely no discernible difference in terms of the amount of interference introduced by having had it that way. Okay, right. So these are things that very particular audio engineers do because they know that things exist, and not because they've in any way experienced anything tangible about whether it's actually going to be additionally beneficial or detrimental. So that's another situation like we got right here, where you have me, a guy who wants to make sure that I'm not adding extra noise if I can. So yeah, you have a 1 foot cable there, but it's not super crucial. So
is this mic on right now?
No, only the lav is on.
Okay, so can we switch over to it?
Yeah, now we can turn the lav down. This one here will turn up. Okay.
I'm going to switch you back to the ZV1.
So there we go. That's the SM57 with a mic booster on it.
Just for a second so I can listen.
Yeah. The ZV1's such a good shot. It's like, man, why not use that, right? It looks good.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm over here hiding behind the other microphone in that shot because this microphone was placed back here in order to have room for the pop filter. But this microphone is pretty loud really right now. And it is requiring 21 decibels of gain. So this is a mic that you'd usually probably use at 50-ish decibels of gain. So this thing's adding 25 or more decibels of pretty clean gain. Because if you are silent here for a minute, let me see. The AC is actually running. So you're probably going to be able to hear a little bit of AC in the background. And that's not the same as mic noise. However, as a general rule, if I'm quiet here for a moment, you can hear the amount of noise that it's creating. It's very low. I think we could actually hear a difference between this and the microphone without the gain box introduced. Oh, yeah. So let's do that now.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, what we're going to do is remove the booster from the inline, and we're going to use just the gain of the preamps. Now, this is kind of a flawed experiment in this context, perhaps, because these preamps on this particular mixer are so clean, so loud, that we might not even hear any hiss. Right. But the AC just turned off, so now we can be quiet again. Yeah, there's discernible hiss there, I do believe. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll compare that do the before and after here with having turned this booster off now. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see how much gain we need now. That sounds about like what it was sounding like before, I think. That's all of the gain.
Okay.
Not all, almost all. It's 55 decibels of gain.
Okay, so you guys tell us, do you hear the difference?
Well, we have to be quiet for them to be able to hear it.
Okay.
I definitely hear some noise. It's not substantial though. Let me turn it up all the way. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now we're starting to impart a slight bit of noise. You know, the compressor might clean that up to some degree going through YouTube compression, the audio that we have going on for streaming. So being able to discern the amount of noise through this medium might be a little bit of a challenge. However, this microphone is more or less being powered to the same audio level as it was before. Maybe slightly hotter. And the gain is completely all the way up. So this is a really good example, actually, of how whenever you turn your gain up, you know, you have a less than ideal situation from preamp gain being a little bit dirty right at the top. Okay, so that's what it sounds like just by itself. All right, now let's go back to the other preamp now, the Durham, and we'll see what we got out into that. All right, now we're going to check out how much gain we need. There we go. That's 22.5 decibels of gain with the Cathedral pipes. It's still not quite as loud, I think, as the NOS Audio one was. So we'll turn it up a little more. I think that's more like comparable. So that's 29.5 decibels of gain.
Do you think you could use this with ASMR?
Yeah, you get real close and, hey, come here, I want to show you something. If you're Fire Marshal Bill, ASMR.
Let me show you something.
Let me show you something. Yeah, but this is a hotter gain than what we had before, so let's go a little bit down here. We'll go maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that feels about right. So that's 27 decibels of gain versus the 21 for the NOS. Now if you listen, oh, the refrigerator's running now, so again, you won't be hearing quite the same amount of background hiss as you would without any other audio happening, but you can probably still hear some hiss if I shut up for a second, so here we go. Yeah, honestly, I can discern really nothing. It's like super, super clean. It's providing less gain than the other box, but I think the gain is maybe even cleaner. I feel like I detected a little bit of something with the NOS that's not quite here with the Durham.
Okay.
All right. All right.
I.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is that the NOS is good, but the Durham's like on the next level just by a little bit.
There's levels of gear quality classifications, It's like there's pro level stuff and then there's like semi-pro level stuff, Like this is definitely both of these are definitely borderline pro, if not pro level. And both of these cost so significantly less than some of the alternatives that these are just absolutely worth a look, in my opinion. I have another one of these ordered, made by Clark Technic, that's I think $30 or $40, and that's maybe even a more intriguing prospect when those become available widespread. But as for now, if you want inline mic preamplification situation like these things with your mic activation situation, then you might want to get into this particular situation specifically.
If you're into quiet mics, I mean, if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, this makes a quiet mic not a problem anymore, Yeah. So probably a lot of professional recordists already have all this in mind when they're going to set up, right? But a semi-pro type of a fellow who has his Focusrite 2-channel or something like that, he's going to be setting up and he's going to find himself in a pickle pretty quick because of how this microphone responds to the Focusrite preamp. Even at the 58 decibels of gain that this thing gives it, this board is giving it a lot more gain cleanly before anything happens bad at that 58 decibels of gain.
Right.
So I think they're probably both right around 58. A lot of preamps on mixers and like lower end interfaces are right around 58 to 60 decibels of gain a lot of times. And even the higher end ones, I think the Universal Audio stuff in there is probably 61. It's not much different.
Yeah.
But that last few decibels is always where the noise comes in, and the nicer the interface, typically the less noise they will allow to come in at the top end of that. But, there are no hard and fast rules, and sometimes some of this distortion sounds more pleasing than others, and you'd rather prefer that, frankly, even though it's a little noisier than one that's got less noise, but it's lifeless, right? Sometimes having less noise is not the right choice, So it's all about your choice. And these microphones pick up differently, so you'll notice that I have to have my face really right up to it, right up here where your nose is touching the pop filter is almost the preferred style with an SM58 or 57 because it's very directional capsule. It's capturing what's right at the tip of that capsule rather than a big round capsule on a large diaphragm condenser like this thing, where it's like a big old thing that's capturing all that data, sound waves data, right? So when this is a tiny little capsule like this, it's very focused, so you have to get in the right place for it to sound like you want it to sound. So if you're over here, you suddenly don't have much happening, like the off axis is not really there. And this will sound significantly worse than when I'm right over here, right in front of it.
Right.
So that's different.
That sweet spot, if you know what I mean.
This is a dynamic mic, right? This kind of stage mic sort of thing. People will know them as a stage mic. Well, it's a dynamic microphone, which means that it doesn't require the condenser preamplifier power like a large diaphragm condenser does. However, this is what we're using in order to power this microphone with the additional preamp power that allows it to sound good with less preamp gain on your mixer or your interface. So now let's switch back to the NOS. I'm kind of intrigued now. I want to see if the 21 actually sounds this loud or louder. Let me look over at the meters. I'm peaking 1 orange like this. at 27, right? Yeah, we're at 1 orange over here at 27. When I'm talking really loud. All right, okay, let's check that out. I could turn this mic on and we can talk while we're over here, right? I mean, why am I restricting myself in this manner? I don't know. Anyway, I'm changing this up. We're going back to the NOS, okay? So we turned the gain down over there. Now we're pulling this out, pulling that out. It's just a button right here to release it, like a lot of XLRs you've seen.
Easy peasy. Locks in.
It locks in like a bad bid in an auction. You're locked in.
Yeah.
You're locked in. All right. So hopefully it's a good bid, right? Bid smart, folks. Get locked into something you want to be locked into, right?
Yeah.
That's what me and Philly Scorcho did over here. Right. Master Phil is known by many names. Okay.
Yeah.
Philly Scorcho, Philly Snakebite Philly. You know,
who is not to be named.
He who shall not be named. Yeah. Okay, so this is what the large diaphragm condenser sounds like. It sounds obviously really good, but this is quite a nice setup here. Okay, so now we'll go back over to the SM, and we're turning on gain. Let's go back to that 21 decibels. So we'll go straight slam down into it. And there we go. Yeah, that's not quite as loud. I don't think, I am peaking actually at 21. I'm still peaking the oranges. Oh yeah. Yep. If I make noises, it's there. That's how you know. For all you sound checkers out there.
If he acts normal, then...
Yeah,
yes.
If it's normal, then it's not right. So you have to be super weird to make noises. And that's how you know it's correct.
Yeah. And plus, we'll be filming chickens later, so we'll be recording audio from chickens and filming them.
I honestly do hear a little bit more noise coming out of this.
Really?
It's subtle. Let me turn it down a little bit to a comparable level to what the other one was. Okay, that's at 20. Can I still make it happen? Yep, it's still popping at 1. So that sounds about the same. I think there's slightly more noise coming out of this NOS. But this thing is incredibly affordable. I don't know if this is even available anymore. This might be one of those YouTube videos that I kind of organized poorly, because these mic boosters are not necessarily available through Amazon, so I don't think there will be affiliate links for those. So we are talking about the Hagibis up there at the same time this week. So that's what he was filming as he craned up there for that shot. See, he's got the crane shot since he's got a stabilizer in his hand. It's like he's got that boom shot going. Uh-huh. But yeah, this microphone sounds good. I think 21 was better. Hey, that's pretty cool. I can do the gain on either this or the individual channel over here. All right, so I'm always like learning new cool stuff about this this Behringer X32. You know, this every time I say Behringer, it kind of makes me like concerned and confused about what I'm saying, because Behringer was known for many years to be the purveyor of the low end of things, and I think probably they still have been able to retain that reputation to some degree, because they do have some of the lower end stuff, but they also have a lot of great stuff for the money. And then on their higher end stuff like this X32 is not the same caliber or class as the other Behringer mixers that are out there. Mm-hmm. So I want to...
It's been awesome so far. Right?
I want to commend this particular piece of gear every time we're here doing this. Okay, I'll go to my regular mic now. I guess we're done with the boosters, but yeah, what has happened here is you know, we've got a situation where we have a rig for live streaming and the live room for recording, and a rig in the control room for recording, like in an album scenario. So eventually we'll probably be talking about some of the other gear that's in the studio, which includes gear that far eclipses this in terms of its caliber. Specifically, the Universal Audio X8P is over there, along with the Universal Audio Apollo 8P and some other stuff that we'll show you. We'll show you at a later time. As of right now, looked like the stream just glitched out there for a second, but I think it's back, so I think we're good.
We're good?
Yeah. I'm not sure what that looked like on live, so I apologize, y'all, if that's giving you some issues. But I think what Philly's doing right now is going back to maybe the ZV1 shot or something like that.
I just did the quad.
Yeah, so we're back to the quad. So I can show you this light in the ZV1 square. So I'll unscrew it and probably show it to you that way. And also, I'm going to unscrew what this light is mounted to, because what's cool about this setup over here is that I have a miniature microphone stand over here going that's got the tablet holder so that I can monitor the stream and be able to see what I'm doing. In addition to that tablet holder, it's a microphone stand that has this converter that allows you to go from the microphone stand screw size to the 1/4 inch standard screw size for camera stuff. So that's what this is right here. Let me turn the Hagibis off.
So now you're turning all of your mic stands into basically tripod or light.
Yeah, this particular piece right here is a microphone stand adapter. There's a couple of different models. This is the black one, so that it can look super like in conjunction. Yeah, this shot's probably going to be better. You can even touch this on the screen and it'll show you. But this thing right here is a microphone stand adapter that has a 1/4 inch screw coming off the top of it. Right. Okay, so that is how we then connect the Hagibis, the King 10. There's your Hagibis King 10. That's what it looks like on the back. So that's pretty cool, right? It's rainbow. So you know they got me with the rainbow. I don't know if you've watched this stream before, but I might have mentioned I love rainbows. And this has that on it. And it's the King 10, okay? So if you really know me, you'll know why that's cool. But this light, along with this little screw adapter right here, which screws onto this little ball head mount that comes with the Hagibis, by the way. It's one of those cheap little $3 ball head mounts, but these things are legit, actually, if you have a light item on them, especially like this Hagibis is. So you screw all that up there, if Philly can show, up there to the top of the microphone stand. Yeah. So that's what the tip of a microphone stand boom looks like without anything attached to it, and that's where you'd usually screw the clip to your microphone like we have on this SM57 over here. But
you can also screw it to your penis if you're doing porn, by the way.
Yeah, screw is meant in the sexual way this time. So so this is sexy times, okay? Okay. So the Hagibis is an RGB light. So what that means for you folks who don't know what that means is that it's got colors, and it's also got the white balance colors. So these dials change aspects of this thing's function, and then it also has a set button in the middle to change other aspects of it. But this dial is moving you from warm to cool and anything in between by lighting orange and white LED lights in their respective ways in order to get to a specific color. And then you have the color output here, so you can see in Kelvin there, okay, we're at 5K. Let's go down to like a 3400, and that way. So you're basically going from cool to tungsten. Yeah. Back, whichever way you want to. Yeah, yeah. If you're super pasty whitey like me, you need some orange light on your skin so that you don't look like a zombie. Right. So that's what this thing is doing with that mode, and it has also other modes, and this is also the brightness. So of course You have brightness levels
Goes
on a
hard.
dial to 100%, and those are in individual 1 unit increments. You also have a button for 20% increments.
Okay.
So I usually do 1 button push, and that's 20, and then dial it back a few notches. So really, I'm using this thing at a very low output rate. Its potential is much higher. Even at 1, you know, that might be what I use it on sometimes even, you know, and that's pretty bright for having 1% of its total output level there.
So yeah, that's
But
a big thing with lights.
Then you
is
have
like,
colors. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Phil. What was
no
that?
problem. That's a big thing with lights is like some lights don't go below like 15% or 10%. So it's good to
Yeah.
have one that goes under.
Yeah, having the continuous increments is a big deal because often you'll have multiples of 10, like Philly said. So whenever you have multiples of 10, it's almost a useless amount of control sometimes, you know. If you don't have anything between 20 and 30 is super bright and 20 is not bright enough, then what do, right? You got to figure something out. Well, if you have increments that are individual like this thing does, then you can get the specific brightness that you're after. Right?
That's
So
cool that it has like the blue,
yeah, it has all colors actually. That's
the spectrum.
this dial turns to hue as
Oh,
soon
that's
as
dope.
you're in RGB mode.
It looks
So-
super fly right now. 'cause
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, it's
giving me
purple.
some flares, some
It goes
purple
all the way
flares.
to like a red, super dark red. Then we get back into yellers and down into white and green. Then we're into the like blue, starting with a white icy blue and then going into purple. Right?
It's making the phone camera like seriously show a bunch of flares and like the background looks like way.
Yeah, we have other modes. You know, there's flashing and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
these are hue and saturation actually. So you can change between hue and saturation with this secondary button here. So then you have your saturation for each hue, right? So if you're at a hue that's like your purple hues, then you can saturate that or desaturate that all the way down to having no purple in it versus completely 100% pinkish purple, what we got there. Right? So that goes all the way out throughout the spectrum. And of course, blue is my favorite. The blue is a little weird the way this thing works. I think that must be blue. I can't remember exactly how to do all of the hues. But there's also like button presses for a particular hues in this mode. Let's see. That's saturation and hue. I don't know. This has like these sort of things. Whoops. Then you have this sort of stuff where it's like patterns. So this is a cool, it's supposed to simulate certain things. Like if you're a person at a computer monitor, then you have this on the person's face and it's simulating what a monitor would look like. Then you have like this, which is different like rainbow changing modes. So this is a pretty cool one. Then you have,
So how much did this cost?
this is your police light simulators,
Right. The siren.
the secondary and a tertiary police light. So it's like police, firemen, and you know, ambulance or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then you have lightning effects. That's one type of lightning there. Then you have this kind of a more sporadic lightning. And then you can also do like this, which is like a, you know, another lightning effect essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bunch of extra cool stuff that this thing does, you know. This can look a lot like TV, someone watching TV, because it's more of a rich kind of tone. So, you know, that one compared to this for a computer monitor where it's more whites and blues. You know, this thing is just pretty cool for, I think it's the $63 or so that it costs. It has a built-in 5.7 volt battery, and it shows the battery's available charge on this LED screen back here. or at least LCD. I don't know exactly what kind of LCD it is, but
There you go.
the screen on the back of it, I'll probably be messing it up, but the screen shows you, in addition to battery life, the other stuff about the brightness and what mode it's in and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this thing is pretty killer, and you know, the amount of light that it puts out would mean that this battery would last you quite a long time in most applications. So the Hagibis King 10 is good stuff.
Pretty dope. I think I could see lots of applications for it, like if you're shooting a movie or if you're just vlogging and you want to make your shelves look nice. You know, like for $63, it's like a freaking steal. And it's always good to just add light to all of your productions, no matter what. Even if you have the A7 S3 or whatever, you know, it's good to just like control your light.
Yeah, you know, my original kind of obsession and dream for shooting video in the studio had to do with being able to shoot in extremely low light. And while that is an admirable pursuit, I think that what might be more important is to be able to shoot in adequate light. Because yeah, it's not that hard to get enough light happening so that you are adequately lit, and you know, you don't have to make it look super bright. I mean, we're still kind of in a lower temperature vibe going on in here. You know, we're not super brightly lit or anything like that. But you know, these lights that we're providing this light with were not expensive, and they're not difficult to acquire. And you know, if we can do it, anybody can do it, guys. That's the moral of the story here. You know, I know it seems like we're superhuman, but we're just regular people. Was that you that put the what's poppin' in there?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, well, it looks like my son is logged into my YouTube account somehow.
Yeah, that's probably Josh for sure. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and we can go ahead and end this thing. We never went over like how much the NOS was and the
the Cathedral Pipes Durham is $65, and the NOS Mic Booster I think was $50. I don't know if he's got any more. They're available through Uncle E and his JRR shop online. I'll probably post a link to that, even though I'll get no benefit from you having used it. If he does have any available, it seems like a viable option to me. It does introduce a little bit of noise, but it's negligible compared to the noise that's coming out of the preamp if you gain it up too high.
All right. So that is good. That's all good for information. The Hagibis, which is a magical light from who knows where, Middle Earth.
The Middle East or Middle Earth or the middle of China, probably, most likely.
Yep.
But we appreciate China for the Middle Earth offering this time. The Hagibis. Yeah, this Hagibis is very competitively priced for what it is. I don't think you'll find a better RGB light that has a battery built in for this kind of money.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty dope. I'm thinking about getting a couple. I mean...
Yeah, we just get one for every camera, you know. We'll have 15 Hagibises before long.
Yeah, I'll just, just have them all over the place, just light everything up.
Just Hagibis, Hagibis time.
Wear them on my chest and just blast people with light.
Yeah, that seems like it would be okay. I don't think anyone would have a problem with that out in society.
I think they're good. I think people would be good with that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Okay, so if you like these videos, hit that like button, click some stuff. That's what we do here. I mean, just interact, if you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments. And we will be doing more stuff in the future. We have so much stuff that we want to bring to you guys. A10 Mini, we got these
A10 Mini
cameras.
Pro.
All these damn cameras. Yeah, the A10 Mini Pro.
Yeah, I haven't talked really much about the A6600 yet, or the G Master 20mm lens that's on that, or the 16mm that's on the 6600.
Right.
So, yeah, we've got some things to talk about as well as some things to show you.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because, like, you know, the Sony system, you know, is something new to me. I shot Canon a lot. So, like, we have a whole new Sony system that we can test and look into and figure out, like, all of the little, you know, things that we need to know about Sony.
Yeah.
So,
welcome to the wonderful world of Sony.
yeah.
And I hope you enjoy the empty box over there of the Cathedral Pipes Durham in the bottom left as we close out here.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what the box looks like. It almost looks like that. The actual product almost looks exactly like that, except for the red anodized.
Yep, it's the outline of the logo, the same thing that's on the plate, the red anodized plate on this beautiful mic booster that we have for you this week.
All right, so we will see you next time, either Friday or Saturday. We will be kicking it. Infinity Times Infinity Studios.com. Go there, see Steve King, you see Ethan Loomis, you know, you see
us, me and Philip.
Me and Dan will be there, okay? If you want to hang out there, we'll be there, okay?
Yeah, hanging out with us. It's going to be fun.
Hanging out with us. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Peace. Peace out.